On this week of Side Piece Poker, I won $303. Let's take a look at how I did it. Welcome to week number 3 of Side Piece Poker. My name is Matt Rozga, and thank you as always for being here. On today's episode, I will be breaking down the poker I played, looking at its impact on my bankroll, and looking at our casino of the week. So without further ado, let's dive in. This week's poker consisted of 2 sessions, the first on Sunday at the Hustler Casino. At Hustler, I played in their 2-3 no-limit hold'em game, and I bought in for $300. Unfortunately, this session did not go well, and I wound up losing all of my money in around an hour and a half. But luckily, I rebounded nicely on Thursday, where I played at the Commerce Casino in their 3-5 game, buying in for the $200 standard amount. In this game, take a look at this beautiful picture. I walked out of here with $806 in cash, and here are my chips. This is a $603 profit, and it's something we really like to see after losing $300 earlier in the week. So let's take a look at my first ever poker breakdown, where we're going to look at our high hand and our low hand of the week. So let's go into that. As we dive into this week's poker review, I want to introduce poker terms in 15 seconds. Hopefully, if you're unfamiliar with poker, these segments will help you understand what I'm saying. So first, let's look at seat positions. Seat positions can be determined by looking for the dealer button on the table, and the important takeaways are that pre-flop, under the gun acts first, and post-flop, the small blind acts first. For more information on seat positions, check out the link in the video description. Let's take a look at our low hand of the week. Remember last week when I said I did not have a good time at Hustler Casino? Well, this hand is exactly why. I am playing in the 2-3 no-limit hold'em game, where I am bought in for the maximum of $300. It has been a little over an hour to this point, and I am dealt pocket queens in the button position. The under the gun +1 player raises it to $20, where it gets 2 callers before it gets to me. I decide that is not enough, and I re-raise to $100. The small blind, big blind, and under the gun positions fold. The under the gun +1 calls, and the remaining positions fold. So we're off to the flop, heads up with the under the gun +1 player. The flop comes 4 of diamonds, 6 of spades, and 2 of hearts. Honestly, pretty safe for us. When under the gun +1 checks, I rip the rest of my stack in, which is around $100, and he snap calls and turns over pocket jacks. So let's check those probabilities right now. I am a 90% favorite to win the hand. We like those odds, but those odds all come crashing down when the jack of clubs comes on the turn. Well, that is an absolute disaster. Are we going to suck out with a queen on the river? Sadly, we are not. A 9 of diamonds comes, and my stack gets shipped over to the under the gun +1 player. And honestly, I'm sitting there frustrated. But I'm not as frustrated as I am right now with Greg Roman. I just watched the Ravens wildcard loss to the Bengals, and I'm a big Ravens fan. It's been a very frustrating season, and I think Greg Roman's a big part of the problem. So I'm going to take this part of the show to say, fire Greg Roman, and I hope you enjoy this meme. Let's take a look at something that doesn't frustrate me, my best hand of the week. My high hand of the week comes from my session at the Commerce Casino, where I was playing in the 3-5 game, where the buy-in is $200. After about an hour and 20 minutes, my stack was up to around $250, where I get dealt ace-7 of clubs in the big blind. The under the gun raises to $15, where it gets 4 callers, including myself. We're off to a flop that comes 10 of clubs, jack of clubs, 7 of hearts. It's a good flop for us. Hopefully we get to complete the flush on the turn of the river. So the under the gun raise is $40, and there are 2 callers, including myself. The turn comes a bingo 5 of clubs, completing our nut flush. So when the small blind raises, I call for $100. After the 2 of diamonds comes on the river, the small blind checks. I go all in for $95 more, and the small blind calls. I turn over my ace-7 of clubs, and he turns over a king-9 of clubs. So we scoop a nice pot. The real exciting part of this hand, though, comes next, in what the small blind said after the chips were shipped in my direction. So we had been playing together for the pretty much entirety of my session, and he was a very nice guy, and he was up to around like $800, playing like super well, running very hot, and we'd become buddies at the table during the game. So as he is passing me the $95 out of his stack from the river bet, he says, and you ready for this? You're the guy I told my chips not to worry about. I told him on the spot that is going on the channel, and he said it's alright as long as I give him a shout out. So Dan, shout out to you, and thanks for the money in this hand. Now that we've looked at two hands, let's take a look at how this week's poker impacted my bankroll. This week's win of $303 increases my bankroll to a grand total of $3,798, which is equivalent to 12.66 big blinds. So as you can see at the bottom, we are exceeding our monthly goal right now, and we hope to keep it going next week. Let's take a look at how this week impacted my win rate. Plugging this week's numbers into our win rate formula gets us a new win rate of 58.04 big blinds per 100 hands of poker played. I realized after last week's video that I had been calculating the win rate incorrectly, so here's a chart with the new updated and correct win rates. Let's take a look at my progress from the side piece perspective. My updated side piece, or dollars per hour, win rate is $79.80 per hour. That again greatly outpaces alternatives like Uber or DoorDash, and hopefully is a rate I continue to improve on in the future. Let's take a look at our casino of the week. The casino of the week this week is the Commerce Casino, located southeast of downtown in Los Angeles, California. Commerce Casino first opened its doors in 1983. Its website lists over 270 poker tables, making it the largest card room in the country. And overall, I would give it a 7 out of 10. I started playing poker in California here, and honestly, I've had an enjoyable experience every time I've gone, and I highly recommend you check out this place if you're playing poker in Southern California. That concludes week 3 of Side Piece Poker. As always, thank you so much for watching, and tune in next week, Sunday, January 22nd, for week number 4 of Side Piece Poker.